Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today we're doing a first impressions, a look and swatches with the Glaminatrix Sparkle Duochrome Topper bundle. These shadows are not the Glaminatrix ones, these are my Chaos Dirt, so we're going to be talking about these ones right here. I did purchase these myself, I believe I bought them on a pre-order, I can't quite remember. But yeah, I got them in yesterday and I cannot wait, I haven't touched them yet, so we're gonna do the swatches, then we're gonna do a look, and then we're gonna wrap up my thoughts, talk about shipping, prices, all of that stuff towards the end of the video, so let's get into the swatches. Before I get into the swatches, if you don't know, Glaminatrix are an Australian indie brand based in Queensland. Now, if you aren't new to my channel, then you know that I have a very strong affinity towards Aussie brands as an Aussie myself, so that's something to keep in mind. The first shade we have right here is called Goblin, and this is a greeny blue, like aqua sort of shimmer. And can I just say, I love the name Goblin. Like, I use that word all the time. My brother calls me a goblin, so like, I just love the name. I have owned some shimmers from Glaminatrix before, but not their newer formula of shimmers, so this is gonna be exciting, and I will be swatching these on my arm, not primed skin, with my finger. And that is what Goblin looks like on the finger. I think I see a little bit of like pink in there as well. And then this is Goblin swatched out. They did say that these shimmers have less of a base color to them. I will be building up the swatches, but I mean, that's got a pretty strong base color to me, at the very least. Oh, actually, when I move my, like, wrist that way, you're not gonna be able to see it, but from my angle, I do see a bit of pink in there. It reminds me a little bit of Cleona Lineage, except Lineage is more of like a smooth multi-chrome, and this one's just like a duochrome, but it's got that aqua base with a flash of pink and like green and a bit of blue. This next shade we're going to be swatching is called Imp, and this is kind of like Goblin's more blue-toned sister. It's more of a teal color and it does flash bright blue and I think a bit of pink as well. Bit of purple actually, bit of purple. The texture of these shadows, like, they feel a little bit crumbly, not super dry and crumbly, but they have like a slight softness to them, like when you swirl your finger in, there's a lot of kick-up. And that is Imp on the finger. I do love the strong blue flash. It really does look like Goblin's like sister. And then this is the swatch of Imp. Oh, that is nice. I think I picked up a bit more on my finger this time. And I'm gonna build up that swatch as always. Yeah, this has more of like a teal base. And it does flash pink and blue. I feel like it's very similar to Goblin, personally. Like, they are definitely different, but they're very similar. Okay, next we're moving on to the shade, and this one is the most exciting to me. This is Fairy Garden, and this has like a warm green base, and then it shifts to bright pink. This reminds me a lot of Glam Shop Tulle, and a few other brands have shades similar to that. I don't own the Glam Shop shade. That was actually on my wish list, so when I saw Glaminatrix were releasing their own version and it was called Fairy Garden, like, I had to get it. It also flashes a bit of gold as well. I think this one's the prettiest. That is Fairy Garden on the finger. Look at that. Okay, and then this is Fairy Garden swatched. Ooh. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so pretty. Only I would buy a bundle which had 3 greenish blue shadows in it and be like, oh my god, they're all so stunning. Yeah, this one has the most amount of base color, just building up the swatch. Oh, that is really stunning. Let's see if I can... Yeah, that one looks like to be the shiniest of the lot. I'm definitely using Fairy Garden today, like, I have to. This next shade is called Sprite, and this is a bright bubblegum pink with a blue and pink sheen. Now, I have a lot of pink shadows like this in my collection, I feel like, so we will see if this stands up to my other pinks in my collection. Apologies for my finger underneath being a bit stained, but that is Sprite on the finger. It reminds me of a Cleona shadow. I don't think I own that shadow, but it reminds me of something that you'd see from them, because you can see the bright pink base there, and then it flashes the blue. And then this is Sprite swatched. Try and smooth that out. That is really pretty. Oh, I like that. Is there like a bit of peach in there as well? I really like that. It reminds me of, I think, Glam Shop Turbo Snap. I think that's the shade. Okay, and the final shade in this lineup, and I remember looking at this shade online and being like, that's probably gonna be my least favorite of the 5 because it's just like an orange, and I'm not really the biggest fan of orange usually, but you just have to see this. This is Nymth. I'm sorry that you can see a little bit of the Fairy Garden shade in there. I was a bit messy when swatching. But this is like a beautiful bright peach base with a bunch of gold and green and orange sparkles in it. Like, I wasn't expecting to love this one as much as I did. Like, I imagined myself being like, okay, Fairy Garden's gonna be my favorite as well as Goblin. This one's probably going to be my least favorite, but like, I think this one might be my favorite of the bunch. I think it might be. Just looking at it in the pan, okay, let's swatch it. It does have like a pink flash as well. Like, this one's really dimensional. Very similar to Fairy Garden, like same amount of like sparkle and shine. Ooh, this is so pretty. Apologies that my finger is stained underneath still. That is Nymth. Look at that. Oh, that's super dimensional. It reminds me of Pastel Rose's, I think it's called Nectarine, I believe is that shade. I really wanted that shade for the longest time, but I never got around to buying it, and now I have something similar. Oh my god, this is so pretty. Wow. Oh, there's so many different shimmers in it. Really excited to see what this one looks like swatched out. Oh my god. That is absolutely stunning. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna see if I can use my flashlight to show you the sparkle. Again, I'm trying to channel my inner Marta with her little flashlight swatches because I love seeing her do that, but I still have yet to master it. But anyways, I'm pretty excited for these. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed in these 2 shades just from swatching because like they don't look as dimensional and sparkly as say like these 3, I think. And it makes me a little bit sad, especially because I was really excited for Goblin. But you know, swatches don't always tell the full story, so we're gonna be using these on the eyes, and I think I'm gonna be doing an all shimmer look, like doing a really big shimmery wing. And I'm thinking of using Fairy Garden as like the outer part of the wing, maybe one of these 2 shades on the inner portion, and then Nymth as my like lower lash line, and then something else for my inner corner. We're gonna just be using as many shades as possible today. Okay, so let me zoom you in and we're gonna get started with this look. Okay, so first things first, I did forget to prime my eyes before I got on camera, so I'm just gonna be using All Reliable Milani eyeshadow primer. And yes, we're gonna be doing a nice big shimmery look, I think. I really like doing all shimmery looks. I think they're very underrated, like all shimmer and all matte. Okay, eyes are primed, and I will be using my Firene Pixie Epoxy because when I do these big like winged out looks, I like to use a glitter primer to make sure it's really structured and also sticks well, because I feel like these metallics, I feel like they're gonna work better with the glitter glue. Like texture wise, they feel a bit like, they're not dry, but they're not wet either. They're like, I don't really know how to describe them. They're a little bit crumbly, and I find that more crumblier shades work better with the tacky base, so I will be using Firene Pixie Epoxy just to give the shadows the best chance, because for me, I use Firene Pixie Epoxy or glitter glue. I use it with every time I use shimmers, so I feel like it's a bit of a, it's a fair judgment on my part. Does that make sense? So I'm just taking Pixie Epoxy, and now that my eye primer is nice and set, you don't really want to have like tacky eye primer when you're putting glitter glue on top. So just gonna whack that all over my lid. And the good thing with Pixie Epoxy is that because of the wand, you can really sketch out a shape. So I'm gonna be doing a winged look. I know in my Chaos Dirt video I did a very similar shape, but can't lie, it's a very reliable shape. And I like to make this shape above my crease. You're not going to be able to see it because it is clear, but I like to kind of draw my shape up here, like on my brow bone, because then you're going to be able to see the shimmers better. I need to pluck my eyebrows, damn. Okay, shape is created. Now, I'm gonna be taking my All Reliable as well, my Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow brush. I don't think they make this anymore, which is a damn shame. I don't know if they do, I'm gonna be honest, but it's my favorite brush for shimmers. And I'm gonna be taking a Fairy Garden right here, and I'm gonna be putting that on the outer portion of my wing, and I am not wetting my brush. It's picking up well. Okay, it's layering on well. I like to do patting motions to kind of stamp the product on. It is looking very slightly chunky. Like a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I feel about that, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I applied too much Pixie Epoxy? Just to smooth out that edge a bit, I'm gonna be taking my angled brush right here, just to kind of shape out that wing a little bit, because it's kind of gone a weird shape. In all honesty, I don't know if that's the shadow or the Pixie Epoxy, because I did apply quite a thick layer. So it could be user error, or it's the shadow. Okay, now that that's done, I think I'm gonna use which shade on my lid, on the inner portion of my lid, because I've got Fairy Garden out here. I might use Nymth, just to have a bit of differentiation. And I'm gonna use that same brush, but the other side. I was gonna use this on my lower lash line and inner corner, but I think I want this to be on the lid today. Oh, that's applying a lot smoother. Yeah, way smoother than Fairy Garden did. That is such a pretty shade, holy shit. Dang, I like that shade a lot. Oh, I love that. I've been bamboozled. I really thought that this would be my least favorite shade. Just purely because I was like, oh, it's orange, I don't like orange. But, wow. When I do my other eye off camera, I'm just gonna do the exact same technique, but I'm gonna let the Pixie Epoxy dry a little bit on the outer portion before I apply the Fairy Garden shade. And, yeah, maybe letting it dry would actually prevent the chunkiness. That could be user error. I'm gonna do that later and we're gonna see. But okay, for my inner corner, now I want to do my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna take this really tiny brush, and I think, do I want to put the pink there and then the greens out here, or the pink right on the inner corner? Okay, I think this might be a bit of a risky move. We're taking risks today, but I'm gonna be taking the shade Goblin, because I really want to use like as many shades as possible. And I'm not taking it on any glitter primer. I'm not taking any Pixie Epoxy. And I'm just gonna run that underneath, and I'm using a Kaleidos, what brush is this called? S5 from their eye brush set. It's a really tiny pencil brush. And naturally the shimmer won't be as strong because There's no glitter primer underneath, but that's showing up really well, actually. And that does look shiny. Obviously not as shifty as the others. The shift might show up more if you used a glitter primer. But my under eyes are set with powder. There's concealer and there's powder underneath. Oh, I quite like that. I quite like that. Okay, we're literally gonna use every single shade. Okay, I've decided. So now I'm gonna be taking the shade Imp, which is that more bluey toned color. And I'm gonna go on the same brush. Gonna put this on the outer portion to connect it with Fairy Garden, because I feel like the undertone of Imp and Fairy Garden, they're very similar. I'm gonna be a shimmery clown today. Okay, that shade is really pretty. I really like that. Again, this shade, same as Goblin, they don't seem as multi-dimensional as these two, but they're still nice shimmers. Okay, the final shade, we're gonna be using Sprite on the inner corners. I was gonna do this on my lower lash line, but then I was like, shimmery pink on my lower lash line when I haven't had enough sleep and my eyes are slightly like fucky. I don't think it would work. Okay, we're gonna use this on the inner corners. I'm very excited. You're not really gonna be able to see it that much because it's in such a tiny, tiny area, but this really does remind me of Turbo Snap from Glam Shop. However, that is a pretty pink. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye off camera. I'm gonna do mascara, eye pencil, and lips off camera. And then when I come back, I will show you the completed look and we will talk about shipping, prices, and my first impression thoughts. So, I'll see you in a moment. Okay, I am back with the completed look and I am such a big fan of how this turned out. I think it's super shifty and pretty. Now, I will say, on this eye, I did use Pixie Epoxy. However, I did let it dry and tapped it out before applying my shadows, and I didn't have any chunking or weird issues with Fairy Garden or any of the other shadows. So that was definitely user error, because with Pixie Epoxy, and usually with glitter glue, you apply it, tap it out, and then put on your shadows. I don't know why I didn't like wait for this one to set. I was just too excited. So definitely user error. They applied really beautifully on this eye and the look is so stunning. I'm very up close and personal, but you can just see how magical it looks. I was having such a hard time taking pictures for Instagram of this look because there's just so many sparkles and shimmers going on that it's hard to capture. In video it's a bit easier. But yes, that is the completed look. And some of the other details of the look. So for mascara, I use the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. For my waterline, I use the LA Girl Shockwave liner in the shade Gotcha. And for my lips, I used Old Faithful, Old Reliable, the Kaleidos Lucid Lip Gloss in Dramatize, because I wanted something sparkly to match the eyes. Anyways, so that is the completed look. I am a big fan of it, like I mentioned. I think it's super pretty. Now let's zoom out a little bit and talk about prices, shipping, and all of that stuff, and my first impressions. I ordered these on the 26th of August during their spring sale, and they were having like a 20% off, and I thought, okay, 20% off, that's a pretty good deal. I'm gonna hop on it. So normally this bundle will retail for 55 Australian dollars. However, on the spring sale, I saved 20%, so it knocked off $11 off the price, and I only paid 44 Australian dollars for this bundle. Now shipping was 20 Australian dollars, so altogether I paid 64 Australian dollars. Now shipping being 20 Australian dollars, I feel like that's pretty expected, that's pretty comparable. Now I live in the UK, I normally expect to pay 20 US dollars shipping anytime I order from the US, so to me, it was just expected. It is what it is. So I don't see the shipping as super expensive, but I do understand for a lot of other people, especially those that live in the US, that would be quite expensive. To buy each shade individually, they cost 10 Australian dollars 99, and I will put the price of the bundle, the 55 Australian dollars, I'll put the price of the bundle down here in US dollars, pounds, and in euros. Since I know that most of y'all are from Europe, US, and the UK, I'll put the prices down here for you. Now, since I only paid 44 Australian dollars for the shadows, I did pay £23.69, but I will be talking about these shadows if I bought them full price, which is £30. I'm rounding it up because it's £29. So we'll just say 30. So £30 for 5 eyeshadows, to me that's not that bad. I mean, I don't think it's too bad. It's pretty comparable to other shadows that I buy. Now, like I mentioned, I did purchase these on the 26th of August, and I don't believe they were a pre-order, and I received them on November 19th. So they did take a while to get to me. However, they did take a while to get to me, and I was kind of expecting that since they're coming all the way from Australia. But then I got an update email from Glaminatrix, and I think they sent this out to a bunch of people that ordered during the spring sale. And in the email, they just said, like, we're very sorry about the delay shipping your order, and, you know, they said it was a bunch of COVID things and personal things, which is very understandable. I mean, right now it's a bit of a difficult time, so I feel like indie brands have taught me a lot of patience with things, and the owner said that they're planning to make their turnaround time a lot faster, which, you know, I appreciate that they were honest and they sent an update email saying, hey, we're aware of the delay, sorry about that, all that stuff. So for me, it wasn't that big of a deal, but for some others, it may be. So just a bit of a warning. I'm not really one to critique shipping all that much unless it's a bit obscene, like the Shroud It's Frickin' Bats stuff. That was bad. So yeah, so would I recommend this bundle based on my first impressions? Now, like I said, this is a first impression. This is not a review. I literally used these shadows once. Now, I will say, I'm a little bit sad that Goblin and Imp, these two shades, they're not as dimensional as the other ones. I mean, they are still sparkly and they're still pretty, like that on my lower lash line. I do want to play around with them a bit more before I give you my final thoughts, because like I feel like they're gonna look really pretty over a glitter primer, but just off of first impression and how I use them, they're nice. They're not like incredible, but they're not bad. They're nice. However, these three shades, especially Nymth, my voice is going, oh goodness me. My voice is leaving us because this shade is just so stunning. Like, Nymth, this shade, I am so sorry I judged you before I even got you in my hands, because this is definitely, hands down, one of the prettiest eyeshadows I own. It's just so shifty, there's so much going on in it, it's really high shine and sparkly. Like, this is my favorite of the bundle. Like, dang, I feel really pretty. I can imagine wearing this with like a nice like peachy, warm toned look, and this being the star of the show on the lid, like, this is lovely. And the base color on all of them, they are like called like Sparkle Toppers, but they do all have like a really solid base color to them, I must say. They're not like iridescents, which have like no base color, but they do have a decent amount of pigment to them, which is really nice. So I feel like out of the bundle, based on first impressions, I would recommend Fairy Garden, Nymth, and Sprite. Like, these three are the most high shine and sparkly and most shifty. Fairy Garden is very stunning, quite unique to my collection. Same with Nymth. These two are very unique to me. So would I recommend you get the whole bundle? I mean, if these are shades that you would use a lot, like I know that I would use these like two greeny blue shades quite a lot. I know that I would. I'm in my green era right now. I don't think all of them are worth getting. I feel like these three are the main ones worth getting. But yes, I will play around with all of them a bit more and probably give you like an update video. I'm not too sure. Maybe I should do a video where I update like my thoughts on a bunch of singles that I tried recently and give you like full in-depth reviews. But yes, based on first impression, I quite like this bundle. I do quite like it. I am happy that Glaminatrix are moving to a more like foiled sparkly formula. I think I remember they said that they're reformulating a lot of their original single shadows, and right now on their website you can't buy any of their single shadows including this bundle because they're working on a restock, which all good and fun. They haven't announced like a date just yet, but I'm very excited. If they're gonna add more of these sparkly shades and they have a couple of multi-chromes, I love their multi-chrome formula. I have the You Beauty palette, and More multi-chromes from them, please. I'd be a big fan. Also, in case you're curious, yes, I did pre-order the Sandra Rose mini palette, and when that arrives, I will be doing a bunch of videos with it, so I'm really looking forward to it. I do like Glaminatrix's formula and their different textures. Anyways, I've been talking at your face for so long, but that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, have you picked up this bundle? What are your thoughts on them? Which shade is your favorite? If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, you can follow me on my Instagram, Beauty by Skye, right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. If you'd like to support me further, I do have my own business, Rain Cloud Candles Co. We are a small queer-owned business based in the UK and we make handmade candles and sneak peek. The winter collection's coming. I don't know if it's actually out by the time this video goes out, but it's coming soon. The link to shop and all the socials will be down below if you'd like to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.